Record. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your February 13th, 2024 Lunch and Learn series. These series are intended for the Career Development Coordinator and School Counselor and SBCs as well. Of course, if you're a secondary additional audience member, that is fine as well. This is special way for us to learn about tools, best practices, resources, etc., for school counselors and CDCs and SBCs to collaborate on. With us today for our session is Christina Councill. Christina is the Marketing and Engagement Director for the National Technical Honor Society. Christina, I just want to say and let everyone know that you're a former CDC and Career Academy Coordinator. I'm going to take that away from you because it's very exciting. I'm completely taking that away from you. It's exciting for us to have CTE blood in the room supporting our students and understands the work of the school counselor and the CDC and promoting students in the National Technical Honor Society. This session is recorded. It's 10:30 to 11:30. And with that, Christina, I'm just going to pass it on to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I do like to have like a little bit of interactivity. So I know you guys don't have your cameras on, that's fine, but can you guys give like the thumbs up reaction in the bottom or the hands up reaction? Can you give me any kind of reaction? I want to see if you guys can. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Stephanie. Thank you. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, guys. All right, awesome. So if I ask questions or anything like that, because I want to know a little bit more about you guys as well, so I can make sure I'm giving you information that makes sense. So thank you all for putting your thumbs up for me. I appreciate that. Like Amy said, my name is Christina Councill. I was let's start at my beginning of my educational journey. I was a teacher in Maryland in Ellicott City for about 5 years. I taught at a high school and a middle school. Really interesting because I have a background in technology, engineering, education, and I started out teaching wood shop, which was very entertaining for a 21-year-old girl who's 4'11". I'm very short, teaching wood shop to a bunch of high school boys. That was fun. And then I moved to a middle school and taught a whole bunch of different technology classes, including somehow I got thrown into a geometry class, which is not my area at all. So we learned quickly that I'm not a math teacher. And then I moved back to North Carolina, and I taught there for another 5 years in a high school. And finally, I ended in my public education career in a CDC role, where I was an academy coordinator of the Digital Media Academy and the Engineering Academy at Middle Creek High School in Apex, North Carolina. So kind of all over the place, have a long history of CTE in education, and I really am very passionate about everything that you guys are doing. And I know that I know how hard you guys work, and I know how passionate you are, because you wouldn't be in this job or in this position if you weren't. So hopefully I will share that passion with you guys through my love of NTHS. So when I ended my career at Middle Creek High School as the Career Academy Coordinator, I was offered a job at NTHS from Peyton Holland. Some of you guys may know him as the former North Carolina Director for Skills USA, but he is now the National the National Executive Director for National Technical Honor Society. So I work closely with him and a whole bunch of other amazing people from the mountains of North Carolina. That's where our headquarters is. So that's pretty cool that the headquarters for National Technical Honor Society is here in North Carolina. So real quick, I want to hear a little bit about you guys. So if you are a CDC or a CAC, will you guys give me a hands up or a thumbs up or something like that? Just give me some kind of recognition. Okay, there we go. Got a couple. All right, so got, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. All right, so we got a lot of CSEs and CDCs. Wonderful. How about counselors, school counselors? Give me a thumbs up or a hand raise or some kind of reaction. All right, no counselors. All right, how about just a classroom teacher? I know some of you guys might be in dual roles, so you might be in the classroom as well. All right, what about IMCs? Give me a hand raise or a thumbs up. I see Jean in the comment also. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Dana. Wonderful. How about SPCs? Thanks, Gina. Awesome. Okay, we got Linda, you're in a dual role. Oh, Connie, I see that you're a school counselor. Awesome, wonderful. Okay, so we got a little bit of everyone here. If you are not one of any of the roles that I just told you, if you want to write that in the chat, so I kind of have an idea of what you're doing and what your interest in NTHS might be, that'd be great. But it's very nice to virtually meet all of you guys. Today, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what NTHS is, how it can benefit your school, how it can benefit you and your students, and answer any questions you might have about starting a chapter or what the next steps might be. So how many of you know what NTHS is and know that you have a NTHS chapter at your school? So if you know what NTHS is and you have a chapter. Linda, man, she's already my NTHS high school advisor. Thank you, Linda. I'm glad you're here. All right, so we got a couple people that said, yes, awesome, that you know what NTHS is and you already have it at your school. That's wonderful. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much. All right, so if you've never heard of NTHS before in your life, give me a hand up or thumbs up or raise. Never heard of it. I love that. Okay, so maybe one person hasn't heard of us. I like that most of you guys have heard of us. That's great. So if you don't know if you have a chapter or not, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the chat. Let me get it copied over here real quick. If you don't know if you have a chapter, you can go to this website right here. So it's nths.org/chapter directory, and you can search for your school name and see if you have a chapter. Now, if your school name is listed on here and you don't know anything about your chapter, you don't think you've heard anything, then you may have an inactive chapter, which means that your school has a charter for the NTHS chapter, but they are not necessarily inducting new members or having monthly meetings or anything like that. So whether or not you're on here just means that you have a charter. And then if you have any more questions about whether or not you have an active chapter or if there is actually an advisor over your chapter, feel free at the end of this, I'll give you my email address and you guys can reach out to me and I can help you out with that. But yeah, so the chapter directory, the link for that is in the meeting chat. So you guys feel free to take a look at that and find out if your school or if the schools around you, or if you are over a couple schools, you can look at all of them. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen here. Got to get everything. Oop, that is not the right view. Let's swap to displays there. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you see like the whole screen of the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. All right. So I'm going to try to make it so I can see you guys as well so I can get reactions. There we go. Wonderful. All right. So NTHS, we are the Honor Society for CTE. So you guys all probably have heard of just the National Honor Society or maybe other honor societies at your school. I know I was a member of like the Spanish Honor Society when I was in high school. So there's honor societies for all different areas, and we are the one for CTE. You may or may not know this, but our name used to be the National, instead of technical, it was the Vocational Honor Society. So we've changed our name quite a while ago when the vocational term kind of went out of style. But now we are the National Technical Honor Society. We've been around since 1984. And basically, it's all about advocating for these students that are in the CTE classes that are really trying their best and doing amazing things that may not be getting recognition anywhere else. So as many of you probably know, your CTE students do amazing work. They, participate in CTSOs, they compete on a national level, they are learning real life skills. And oftentimes they get overlooked for things when we're recognizing academics. So maybe they're not doing an amazing job in their math classes or science classes or English classes, but they are doing a great job in CTE classes. So they're getting overlooked by a lot of recognition. And our passion is kind of filling that gap, filling in for that missing piece of recognition for these students and for the schools and programs, because your CTE programs often kind of get overlooked as well. I know that's how I always felt when in my CTE position, is that, we're lesser or not as important as some of the other academic areas. So again, this is just a way to kind of like raise the bar of what it means to be in CTE and in the community and in the school system, to show what amazing work our students are doing. Our core 4 objectives. So these are like the 4 things that we are putting out there for our students and our advisors to kind of build their chapters around is career development. So doing all kinds of activities to help them prepare for whatever career they want to go into, not necessarily the specific skill sets of a CTE classroom, but more of that overall like employability skills, everything like that. Then leadership, obviously providing another platform for students to be an officer of a club, to kind of run a meeting and take on leadership roles outside of the organization in the school system. And then also service and recognition. So recognition, obviously our big one of making sure the students have that amazing grad regalia to wear at their graduations and going through that honor of a induction ceremony and really kind of making sure that they know that they're valuable and what they've done in the school system is valuable. So one of the cool things that I love about NTHS, and I was also a Skills USA advisor for 5 years. So if you are a CTSO advisor, you probably have the same kind of background as me. You have to pay your dues every year for that. The thing that I love about NTHS is it's a one-time only membership due. And so when a student is inducted, they are forever a lifetime member, of course, unless they get kicked out for whatever reason. But that one-time due is as their lifetime membership of NTHS. So if you have a student that's eligible and is able to be inducted as a freshman, then they have 4 years in high school where they're allowed to apply for scholarships each year. So it's 4 different cycles of the scholarship applications coming up that they have more opportunities to get these scholarships and other member benefits that you see here. So it's really cool that, like I said, it's just that one time. You're not going to have to pay that annually. Our biggest member benefit, and the one that everyone kind of knows us for, is our scholarships, because we have over $250,000 in scholarships each year that are just for NTHS students. And a lot of those are in partnership with CTSOs. So if you have Skills USA, if you have HOSA or DECA or FCCLA, FBLA, FFA, all TSA, any of those at your school, we have the joint scholarship. So if they're in both of those organizations, then they can apply for that scholarship, which is really nice because that's, a smaller pool of students that are eligible. And again, increasing your opportunities to get that scholarship, which is great. Each member gets a membership kit and this is kind of the idea, is that this will be presented at the induction ceremony. So if you've ever been to like a NHS induction ceremony or anything like that, it's a really formal event where you're having the parents come and the leaders in the community and the leaders at the school system come and recognize these students in a like really meaningful ceremony. And so that they would be presented with their membership certificate, a pin and tassel, a little decal, a diploma sticker, and their nice little portfolio that the membership certificate comes in. So there's a picture of that right here. We have some letter of recommendations, which are available for students. So customized letter of recommendation that they can apply, or they can go onto the portal and see. Obviously the big one, I don't know if your schools or your students are as crazy as mine were about wearing that regalia at the graduation ceremonies, but they'll basically, do anything for an extra cord or a stole. And so that's one of the big selling points for the students. They love to be able to honor and recognize that. I don't know about a lot of your school systems, but I was teaching in Wake County, and one of the newest rules right before I left the school system was that you could not wear any graduation regalia unless it was specifically from an honor society. So you couldn't wear one for Skills USA or any of the other CTSOs. So that was kind of depressing for me as a teacher, because again, they've done the requirements to get that honor, so they should be able to. And I feel like this is a great way to still give those kids an opportunity to wear that extra regalia as a CTE student. So I'll show you guys some more pictures of the regalias because it's really pretty. We also have a lot of partner programs, especially in the last 3 years. So if you have heard about NTHS or have been part of the community of NTHS in the past and haven't kind of been around it recently, in the last like 3 or 4 years, we've partnered with a lot of different organizations to kind of add some extra benefits for our students. If your students do any kind of OSHA training, we have a really, really great discount for the 10-hour OSHA training certification program, which only NTHS students are eligible for. So it's a great way to kind of get an extra thing to put on their resume, an extra certification, but at a significant discount, which is great. We also do any of you guys can give me a hands up or a thumbs up? Do you guys have major clarity or aware of major clarity? Ooh, I got fireworks. I don't know what I did to get that, but that was exciting. All right, so I see a couple thumbs up. Yeah, so major clarity, if you have used it before, you know that there's a lot of different kind of career development opportunities in there, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in specific later. But we do have a career readiness portal, which is in partnership with Major Clarity and allows students to take a micro-credential, specifically in employability skills. We also have some discount programs with Lenovo and ODP, which ODP is the organizations of Office Depot and Office Max. So, school supplies and stuff like that. And then obviously Lenovo with technology. We got some special discounts for our NTHS students. And like I said, and more, we have a whole bunch of new things that are coming out and a few things that I can't tell you guys about yet, but they're rolling out soon that are really exciting for our members. If you guys want to take a picture or, do the scan of that QR code, it'll take you to our member benefits page and it will you can scroll through and see them. And as we add member benefits, they will be added onto that page. So I'll leave that up for just a second. Okay. I can't see, Amy, I can't see the chat anymore. So if there's anyone that has a question or anything like that, you guys feel free to put it in the chat and Amy will yell at me and tell me that you guys have asked something.
Absolutely. Nothing yet.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we talked about the scholarships. Like I said, over a $250,000 in scholarships each year. We do have some special scholarships. So I talked a lot about the CTSO ones, but we have a couple that are outside the CTSO area. So if you have ASE certified students, we have an ASE scholarship, an endorsement, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Same with LAPSN. If you have students in the law and public safety area, then we have a special scholarship for them and a special endorsement for them. And then BYF is Build Your Future, which is a NCCER initiative to basically focus on students that are in the construction industries. So that's a really cool scholarship. I enjoy that one because I get to read some of the papers and entries for the scholarship for the students that are really interested in the construction industry, and hearing their experiences and what they want to do with what they've learned is really exciting for me. So lots of really amazing scholarship opportunities there. All right, so like I said about ASC just a second ago, we have 2 endorsements. So these are students that are eligible for NTHS, but also have kind of a specific area of study in CTE that they get an extra recognition for in NTHS. So the ASE endorsement is for students that are eligible for NTHS and have also completed an ASC certification. And so they would get special regalia. You can see it right there. We have like the ASC logo on the stole. And actually on the other side of the stole is the NTHS logo. And then the cord has both of our logos as well. So a little bit of extra honor there. They also automatically get entered into ASC scholarship. And so by having that endorsement, you don't have to fill out an application or anything like that. You're automatically in the pool of students that would be eligible for that scholarship, which is really exciting. Very similarly, we have the one for LAPSN. So this is our LAPSN endorsement. The grad regalia for that one is the LAPSN medallion, which is gorgeous on our gowns. But this is for students that are in the law and public safety coursework. So basically, LAPSN approached us and they had their own honor society that they were trying to have for specific law and public safety, but they realized that it was actually better just to kind of join in with us and have an endorsement within NTHS. So again, this is for students that are eligible for NTHS, but also are in that law and public safety coursework. So career readiness portal, this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier with our joint micro-credential with Major Clarity. So this little graphic's kind of running you through what the the employability and soft skills micro-credential course looks like. It's really neat. I've taken it myself and it's very interactive. It's not one of those things where, you're just reading and answering questions. There's a lot of like different interactive kind of modules, which I've enjoyed. But it's a great way to get students ready for internships or even job shadowing, anything like that. I know that when I was the Career Academy coordinator, the junior year before their summer internship, I had them complete this because it was a good way for them to get used to some of the things that we had always had problems with in internships, like how to write a professional email or how to have that professional communication with your internship supervisor. So it's just a good kind of very general basis to prepare students for going into any kind of career development activity, any kind of work-based learning experience. So I've talked about this a little bit, but one of the things that kind of brought me to NTHS that made me feel like this is a great place for me was that it does create that awareness within the school system, within the community, and we even like the parents to show them that CTE isn't just an elective. It isn't just, I'm going to go take a foods class because I want to eat some cookies. It's preparing students for real careers, for real skills that they're going to be using in their future. And to take that and elevate that language, to elevate that concept within the community is super important for me, and to make sure that everyone knows the hard work that you guys are doing, the hard work that your students are doing. So I feel like having this honor society gives a platform for your school and for your programs to really shine in the community. I also, if you have any experience with CTSOs, you know how meaningful um, meeting with your students and doing stuff after school in a non-classroom environment is, making those connections with the students and doing activities that aren't necessarily for a grade. It just changes that overall relationship that you have. And this is just another platform to do that as well. So so many benefits that I have personally found with having this kind of organization at school. I just think that it's the best. It's one of those things that I have so many great things to say about it. So we have a whole bunch of partners here. Some of you guys probably have worked with some of these. We actually are doing an amazing grant, or not a grant, it's a government challenge to win award money with She Built This City to provide Lowe's internships for students in the Charlotte area. It's our pilot program I'm really excited about. So we have some new partners this year. She Built This City, Lowe's. We also have partnerships with Next Gen Trucking and a whole bunch of other industry specific CTE places to really kind of bring together everyone in the CTE world. If you don't already have an NTHS chapter, so hopefully you guys all got a chance to go onto that web page and look up your school. If you don't have a charter already at your school, so these are your first steps. So the first thing you got to do is to go onto our website and complete the charter application. And if you want to go ahead and scan that QR code, it takes you directly to the page where you can start that process. But you can get that school support, go to your administrators, go to your CTE director or whoever is kind of over student organizations in the CTE area, and make sure that they understand what NTHS is and how we can benefit your school. Complete that charter application. You're going to establish some criteria and bylaws. Now, there is national criteria, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a second. I know everyone always has questions about that, but you can establish criteria that goes beyond the national criteria. So if you, for example, are a school that has an attendance issue, maybe your students don't show up as much as they should, you could add a requirement that says, they can only have so many unexcused absences, or maybe you'd have low participation in CTSOs. So you could add a requirement that they have to be a part of a CTSO. We encourage you to add criteria that make sense for your school, because you know your students better than anyone else. We don't know what's going on at your school. We don't know, what your population is like. So we encourage you to do that to make your program the best it can be. I will say that when you are establishing these criteria, please keep in mind that like the whole point of this is to recognize students in CTE and give honor to them and give them opportunities and benefits like access to scholarships. So if you make it so exclusive that there's only 5 students that are inducted each year, then only those 5 students are getting recognized. Only those 5 students are getting, access to scholarships. We don't want to make it so exclusive that the students aren't getting the benefits, because honestly, that's why we're all here, is to help students move forward and get the access to all these different benefits to help them in their future. After that, you're going to set up your membership dues, however you're going to collect those. So typically, school systems collect them within the school, and then they send us either a check or they do the credit card payment online. We do accept POs, so there's lots of different ways to do that. You may also add on your local dues if you want to add, $5 so that you can make a t-shirt for the students or something like that. You're able to do that as well. After you establish your chapter, you're going to go ahead and identify those qualified students and nominate them, invite them in, have a informational meeting, show them what NTHS is all about and why it will benefit them. And then at that point, you'll be able to register your members online to get them into the system, to show them so that they actually will be able to log on to the membership portal and get access to all of those benefits. Once students have been registered online, then you as the advisor would receive all of the membership packets, the certificates and all that good stuff shipped to your school. Then you'll be able to plan that induction meeting, hold the inductions and give them the presentation of their certificates, making sure that you publicize the event and really make it something special for your students. Past that, it's all about engaging your students, having meetings and being able to provide more opportunities for career development, leadership, service, and recognition. We've developed a whole bunch of new resources on how to run these meetings and what you can do during the meetings to really add a lot of benefit to your students and not just be like a 5-minute meeting that they just say hi and then move on. So we've added a lot of resources for advisors for that. All right, I'm going to leave this one up on the screen. This is if you would like to learn more about NTHS, if you want to scan that and go ahead and fill out that, it's a Google form, then I will have your information so I can send you an email with more information and then you can respond back to me. If you want something specific, like if you need some promotional materials or if you want to find out who your advisor is because you haven't heard about it being advertised at your school, feel free to fill out that form or you can send me an email. My email's down there at the bottom. And that will, both ways are a great way for me to get back in touch with you and give you the information that you need. I'm gonna give that a few seconds up on the screen so you guys all have a chance to either take a picture of it or scan it. If you want to fill out the form now, you can. If you want to fill it out later, that's fine as well. All right, so I've talked a lot. I've given you a lot of information. I know you got to process all of it, but what questions do you guys have? And I'm gonna look over at the screen because I can see you guys on the screen. I'm not ignoring you, I promise.
I'll watch the chat, but I am curious if you can show the site in any way and some of how to navigate a little bit and some of those resources live.
Absolutely. All right, so let me get over to our webpage here. All right, so this was the page that I showed you guys earlier. This was the page where you can look up your school to see if you have a chapter. Our advisors will actually go up here to, it says log out because I'm already logged in, but you could log in to see your actual school's portal. And that looks something like this. So when an advisor logs in, they have all their information about their members, their student roster, their honorary members, and their chapter information on the left-hand side. Our endorsements and programs. So I talked about the ASC endorsement and LAPS endorsement. That's right here in the middle, along with some other of our programs. And then anything that has to do with some resources and shopping are over here on the right. Where you register members, this is probably where we get the most questions for our advisors. When you go into register members, a screen pops up like this. There are really 2 different ways that you can add students. So when you click on add students, it's going to ask you, do you want to register your students? Basically, do you want to provide all the information to NTHS about your students? Do you want to give them first name, last name, email address, all that good stuff? Or do you want to just send an invitation to the student's email where they fill out their own application? So you have two different options there. If you are confused about this wording, you can always hover your mouse over those two different little eyes, and it gives you information about what happens. So again, the first one is if you have all the information about your students and you just want to type it in or upload a spreadsheet, then that's the way you do that. If you are a counselor and you have access to all your students that are eligible, for example, like if you have, we used uh, Power School. I don't know if everyone's still using Power School, but we used Power School in Wake County when I was there, and our counselors could just, run a report of who was eligible based off of their GPA and what classes they were in. And they got the whole spreadsheet to me, and then I had a spreadsheet that I could just simply put up in here. So you could do it that way, or you can go down here and you can just have the list of student names and email addresses, and then it will automatically send an email to each student with a link for them to complete the registration. So they would have to go online, fill out their address and their and all the information that we need. And then after they're done, then you can submit their registration. So let's say we're going to go ahead and do the first way, just to show you guys. This is what I was talking about, where you can either do one at a time. So if I do like that, it's going to pop up a screen like this, and I can literally type in each student's information, and then I can do save and add another and do one student at a time. I think that would take a long time, especially if you're I'm doing a lot of students. So if you have a spreadsheet, you can do upload multiple students at once, and you can download our CSV template file. Make sure that all the students' information is in that CSV file, and then you can upload it right here. And then that way everyone's uploaded at once. Once you upload them, it will show up in a list down here, and you can see that says members awaiting submission. So this is students that are either nominated or that you want to register in the future. If you nominate the student, like, so if you've sent them an email and they have to put their own information in, it will say incomplete over here. So they have not filled out their own application. If I put all the information in as the advisor, they're all going to be green because I put all the information in myself. So you got to pay attention to that status, because once you go down here to the bottom and when you submit the registrations that are complete, it's only going to submit the ones that are green here. So if I had 20 students that I sent invitations out to and only 10 of them actually filled out their application, when I go to submit, it's only going to submit the ones that are green that have actually filled out the application. Inside of here, you also have a couple of different options. You can add on that CRP, which is the Career Readiness Portal, which is that Major Clarity micro-credential. If you get confused or forget about it, you can always click on read more and it will give you more information. So you could check the box and it would add that on when you go to submit your registration. If the student is eligible for the LAPSN endorsement or the ASE endorsement, you will have some options in this column. So for example, this Renee Fratty has the correct CTE area study for the LAPSN endorsement, so I could add that easily to her registration. This Monique down here has the ASE area, so I could decide if I want to make sure she has the cord or the stole or both in that area. And then once you have everyone ready the way you want it to go, you can go ahead and submit it, and we'll take you to the checkout page for you to either submit your PO or do your payment information. All right, I see I have one thing in the chat here.
Yeah, there's a question. Are you going to review the bylaws?
Good question. So when you talk about bylaws, are you asking about like what the criteria are for joining? Is that what you're interested in?
So Diane, some clarification on, is this bylaws for joining or bylaws on running the chapter and membership and all that? Should things come up, etc. Bylaws on running the chapter.
Okay, I'm running the chapter. All right, so we do have, if you go back over, so as the advisor, if you go back to your portal homepage here, and you click on advisor resources, this will take you to the page on our website that has everything you need to kind of run your chapter. So the biggest thing I would say is to get to know this advisor guidebook. So that's going to open up in a new page, and this is where I spend a lot of my time as the marketing engagement director, making sure that everything that you need to run your chapter is here. So ways to get the administrator support, how to complete the charter application, how to establish your member criteria, how to establish your bylaws. So right here it says these are the chapter bylaws templates. So those are the template that we give you, and there's some modifications that you can make for it. It's linked there. It's also on that original advisor resources page right there, chapter bylaws. Let me see if I can open that and make sure that you guys can see it. Microsoft does not like my computer because I have an Apple computer, so just give it a second. There we go. So this is, you'd input your school's name. You'd have so this is the national criteria. You could also add on your local criteria. For the national criteria, we have the candidate must meet one of the following GPA criteria. So you have one of three choices. So you as a school would have to choose which one you want to go with. It just has to be consistent. So you can't choose one for one student and one for another student. So you just need to have one overall criteria for your whole school. So it could be a minimum overall 3.0 unweighted GPA. It could be a minimum overall 3.0 CTE specific unweighted GPA, or unweighted combined both GPA, overall GPA and CTE specific. Again, we leave this pretty open-ended so that you can tailor it to make sense for your school. So if you want to make sure that it's just CTE students, CTE GPA, because students may not be doing well in their other classes, that's fine. If you know that this is a very low requirement for your specific population, then you can add on your own criteria. So some of the examples of criteria that we have here, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, was like attendance or maybe a certification, involvement in a CTSO, or maybe they have to have a letter of recommendation from staff members. Maybe they have to participate in some kind of work-based learning, or complete a certain amount of community service hours. So you guys have the ability to add that on.
And Christina, there's a follow-up
Yes,
from
go ahead.
Lori. What if you're a new advisor and don't have access? Whoops, I lost that. Don't have access to the password for the account. And then there's another note. I'm chatting with NTHS right now to change access because I'm a new advisor.
I love it. Okay. So first thing I'll say is if you ever cannot get into, so if you are the advisor of record, like if we have you in our system as an advisor and you can't get into the portal, just click on forgot password here and we'll set a reset link. If it's your very first time ever logging in after you've submitted your chapter charter, then you can click on forgot password and it will send you a link as well too. So, and same thing for students. When students are first getting access to the portal, they're going to go to that forgot password and just have them send a link to reset it so that it's automatically set to whatever they want. And yes, Bobby, if you or anyone who needs to change access to who the new advisor is, if you go down here to chat with us, our customer service is the best in the whole world. Like they will go above and beyond to help you out, like to the point where there's sometimes I have to yell at them because they like literally upload the students for the advisor. I'm like, that's not your job. But they will help you out to do whatever you need. So go ahead and start a conversation with them and see if you can switch to be the advisor, or, if you want to find out who the current advisor is and see if they're actually inducting members or whatever, you can just click down there at the bottom to chat with us. And our customer service team is amazing. Let's see, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions over here. All right, Lori, did that work for you? Awesome. Okay. So back over to our bylaws over here. Other things in the bylaws is talking about, what, if you're planning to limit your membership to specific years, you're putting that in there and stuff like that. Again, my perspective is the sooner that you get these students in here that they're eligible, the more time that they have to use the resources that they earned. And so why would you keep that from them? If they are freshmen and they meet the requirements, get them in as freshmen so they have 4 whole years to apply for scholarships and 4 whole years to have access to those discounts and membership benefits. this is information about like how you're going to distribute your nominations, if it's just going to be in the email that gets sent out, or if you're going to hand out papers or whatever you're going to do. Some more information about how you're what your membership dues are specifically at your school, if you're going to have something added on for local dues, how students are going to pay, if students pay or if the school pays. We have about, I would say 50-50 on whether or not the school pays for membership or a student pays for membership. We have had some schools, and don't ask me this, ask this in the chat because I don't know the answer to this, but we have had schools that were able to use Perkins funding to fund memberships. I don't know how they're doing that because I know that there are some very specific requirements for that, but something that to look into, especially if you're worried about the cost for students. There's information in the bylaws about, what to do if a member is, has behavior issues, or if their level of involvement in CD drops below the standards and stuff like that. We recommend that you put them on probationary status instead of just revoking it, so they have an opportunity to, improve and still have access to their membership benefits. But this has information on how you're going to run your chapter on if a student needs to be placed on probation. We have information here about, how often are you going to have your meetings? Are you going to have chapter officers? If so, how are they elected? How are they appointed? When are they appointed? And what positions are they? And obviously information about how to add or change your bylaws for your school. So this is just our template, and it gives you opportunities to kind of make it what makes sense for your school. And so other resources on this page, we have things about, so like marketing your chapter. So we have like the starter chapter brochure. This is really great to show your administration, to show them what is involved in starting a chapter at your school, and what are the benefits of it. We also have, if you want to put your little graphic at the bottom of your email signature, we have one of those for advisors. A whole bunch more of information on how to nominate and promote and recruit for your students. So promotional PowerPoint, it's very similar to the PowerPoint that I kind of just showed you guys. It has a lot of information about the benefits of NTHS, the member benefits flyers, a nice thing for you to hand out to students when they are nominated, so they know what it's all about. If you need to use our logo files to like make a t-shirt or something like that, we have those in here. And we have a whole bunch of Canva templates. Actually, this is not the only one. We have a lot of them that where you can make, graphics for social media, or you can make invitations to the recruitment meeting or to the actual induction ceremony. A lot of different visual templates for you guys to use. And then we have a lot of resources here for the induction ceremony, including the script that you can go through, the ceremony, like PowerPoint, if you're going to do a PowerPoint during your ceremony. And then this induction guide has a lot of like kind of just step-by-step process of how to run your induction. So if you've never done an induction ceremony before, this is going to walk you through it. It has suggestions about where to hold it, when to hold it, how to send out your invitations, how to run the actual script and the coordination of the speakers during the induction ceremony, the resources that you need to make your programs and everything like that. One thing that I'm proud of, because I helped make this, is the induction ceremony recommended timeline. So this is a great way to kind of like just mark things off. So if you're a person that likes lists, I'm that person. Before your school year starts at the very beginning, you can, send your administration the information telling them when the induction ceremony is, so that they can go ahead and plan to have that on their calendars. What you're going to do 2 months before your induction ceremony, and so forth and so on. It just gives you a really clear list. And all of these are just suggestions. If you're not going to have a photographer, that's not a big deal. Just they'll do it. But this is just to make it so that everything I could possibly think of that you needed during an induction ceremony, you have a list of those items and have a way to kind of keep up with it. All right, so induction, and then we also have a little bit of information about how to keep your students engaged. One of the biggest ways to keep your students engaged in those like chapter meetings is to kind of frame all of your activities around our awards program. So if you go up to the top of our website here and go down to our chapter awards program, we have 3 different levels of awards that your chapter can achieve. So we have the foundational chapter award, where your chapter is just doing like basically what we consider like the bare minimum. You're you're having your meetings, you're doing your induction ceremony, you're doing all the bare minimum stuff. And then we have the second level, which is the Silver Star of Excellence Award, which really shows that you are focusing in on those core 4 objectives, that leadership development, career development, service, and recognition. And you're doing at least one activity for each one of those different areas. And then the Core 4 Excellence Award is the chapters that are doing the best in one area of the Core 4. So the best service chapter or the best career development chapter. And so we have a lot of different options for students or for chapters on things to do. If you open up the PDF application, it's going to walk you through how to fill out the application, but I'm going to get down here to general activities. So this talks about like different suggestions for your activities in your meetings. So how to have your students actually apply for scholarships during the meetings, because every single student that's in NTHS is eligible for the John H. Potee Scholarship. So at one of your meetings, every single student should get on their phone and apply, because it's literally just like your name. That's it. And you apply. Like there's so little involvement in that one. You should apply for that one in one of your chapter meetings and have everyone do it. If you are a school that wants to do officers, it has information on how to elect your chapter officers and how to run committees in here, how to recognize students that are doing an amazing job by nominating them for our NTHS honor roll, which is just another level of recognition. Recognizing students who are in CTSOs, and definitely doing some of those like career development stuff in our career readiness portal to prepare them for work-based learning experience, all that kind of thing. We also have these areas over here, or this is part of the chapter awards program application. This part right here is like the written part. So this is, if you're doing that first level, which is the foundational chapter award, you don't have to do the written part, but the written part is for the 2 higher levels. So basically this will be you and your students. So the actual students need to help write this part. We'll respond about how you are doing career development programs within your chapter. And same thing with, so there's leadership, how are you doing service, and then how are you doing recognition in your chapter. And the big part is actually having, those members help you write those. So it's not supposed to be another task for teacher or advisor to have to do. It's a way for your students to get involved and have that higher level of participation. All right, so I'm gonna go back over here. So the information for the awards is all on this one page. After you fill out the application, you submit it, and the deadline's from May 1st. And so that at that point you'll submit it, and we'll have about a month of judging, and then you would find out what you got for your school. We have a lot of schools that get Silver Star of Excellence every year, which is outstanding. What other questions do you guys have?
I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Very informative, Christina.
I'm
You've been
glad.
going nonstop for 50 minutes.
I
Yeah.
think it's the most I've taught since I've been in the classroom, or the most I've talked since I've been in the classroom.
Yes, extremely informative. It's such a great resource for teachers, for students, opportunity, the scholarships, etc. I am curious, in the chat, if you all who are in the room could just put in what position you are currently serving. Are you a school counselor, a CDC, SPC, something else, a combo? And so next to your title, also, are you at middle or high school? If you would help me out, just to get a feel of who's in the room.
I'm so
And
glad you asked that, Amy, because I have to tell you guys about middle school. I haven't even told you
yes,
about that.
it's okay. Great. Yeah.
So we have a pilot program that's starting this year for middle school, and it is called the NTHS Explorers. And it's less about an honor society and more about doing all of that CTE career exploration at the middle school level within like a club like atmosphere.
Mhm.
And we're really excited about it. We have some really cool activities planned for it. But if you're interested in being a part of that pilot program, I want to get your information. Make sure that you're filling out this form at that QR code. And if in the like extra the comments place, tell me about how you want to be a part of the middle school pilot program, because we are really excited to roll that out this year.
I wonder, so your QR code specifically asked about the middle school pilot? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's a general interest form, but at the
Okay.
bottom there's a place for you to write like comments. So if you just put in there middle school, then I'll reach out to you and let you know all about the pilot program.
Okay. Because I will share this PowerPoint and recording within the week. And so when I do that, I can remind people of the QR code and to be sure to denote if you're middle school or high school, that will help.
Jean, I'm so happy to see what you wrote in the comments. I agree. Like, it's just an amazing opportunity for your students. And like you said, they love meeting and learning new things. It's one of those, the magic happens outside of the classroom, which is crazy because you spend the majority of your time in the classroom in education. But the minute that you have an opportunity to meet with those students and do something outside of that four walls and outside of the I'm getting a grade for this mentality, great things happen.
You are so right. And relationships matter, of course, and this helps to build
Right.
them in and out of the community. So a variety of folks in the room, a few school counselors and middle school and high school. We have the director, combination CMIC, CDC, SPC, and Director Dana. Bless you. It's good to see you here.
I was
Yes.
just about to say that, like, that's everything. She's doing it all.
Yeah. And Meredith is 3 roles. And there are a few. Oh my, yeah. We have Heather, Tracy, no, Terry, Meredith, multiple roles, 3 roles. And yeah, everyone is doing a fantastic job. Anything to promote this. I forget your question in the beginning. If people, you asked for a thumbs up if people aware of NTHS. If I could ask another question, if you would all humor me in the chat, can you just a yes if your school has NTHS, if you're aware of it?
I love all the yeses.
Yes, yes, yes. Need to see those and hope to see more of those, and fantastic. So good, Christina. And I'm sure everyone who has yes wasn't aware of all the details and the opportunities, resources that NTH has that you have just shared with us today.
Oh, good. Dana can add another title to her long list of NTHS advisor now.
Oh, one of the schools does, but others do not. Okay, thanks, Ray. Dana, there you
Oh,
go.
COVID
Maybe you could ask.
really
I'm
messed
sorry.
up. Ashley wrote about her chapter has been inactive since COVID. We lost so many schools during COVID because they just didn't have the ability to meet. So you are not alone, Ashley, but like, let us know what we can do to help you get back started.
Maybe there's someone else, Dana, who could help you with this, the NTHS on site and everybody. And you know, you're not in this alone. You can have co-advisors, right? I was
I
a
was just about to say that you could literally have every CTE teacher at the school because of co-advisor. We don't have a limit on how many advisors. So every single one of them could have access to the portal, and you guys could all do it as a joint effort where maybe you only upload your students. So you're not having to do everything by yourself. So
yeah.
please don't take it on by yourself. Just knowing how much work a CTSO was. We had 5 advisors for Skills USA at the school I was at, and we all worked our butts off. So I get it. I understand that you have a lot on your plate. Please don't do it alone.
I was a co-advisor and it's been many years, right? It's dirty, but I have my NTHS coaster. I mean, literally, it was at my, I take it to every desk I go to. Can you imagine?
I love
Yes. And
that.
this was not the last school I was at either. I took it to the next school. Purple is my favorite color and I just love everything about it. It's here. It's got my tea and coffee stain on it. Yeah, it wasn't a prop for today. I'm like, oh yeah, here it is.
I love that.
You don't go anywhere without it. It's wonderful opportunity for our students, a way to promote CTE, um, and recognize them that they are focused. They are focused in a pathway. They're focused in our programs, and why not have them recognized for what they're doing? Other areas outside of CTE get recognized for various things. Band, art, sports. This is
Mhm.
career focus. This is academic focus with more of career focus on it. It's taking the academics and applying for a career and recognizing our students. Lots of scholarship money. Christina, thank you so very much. On meeting days, we've got a comment, students either dress up and wear their NTH pins or their NTH t-shirts. That's
I love
wonderful.
that.
That's wonderful. Thank
I
you
love
again.
Can I
Uh,
put in a plug really quick
yeah.
because this is a part of the a program that I'm in charge of at NTHS is every year for the last 2 years, we just started it 2 years ago. We've been doing a CTE month t-shirt design contest.
Hmm.
And I love all of our students, but some of those designs are real rough. So I'm going to ask you guys to reach out to your students that you know are talented in design, and please have them submit a t-shirt design next year because I want the best t-shirts for our students to be able to wear for the CTE month. It's a really fun contest and they get a free t-shirt out of it, and their design is worn not just in the state but across the nation in all the different NTHS classrooms, which is really fun.
Great. Do you have to be in NTHS to do that? 'Cause I'm thinking, gosh, I'd go to my art teachers as another way to promote CTE and avenues. Yes,
Right now, you have to be an NTHS member, but that's a really good point. So I will take that back and see what we can do.
yeah, take that to Peyton. You know, well, anyway, and Jean is wearing her t-shirt this Friday for CTSO Spirit Day.
I love
NTHS.
it.
Yep, fantastic. Um, Christina, we have 4 minutes left, but I'd like to wrap this up to let people, get log off and whatnot. This is recorded. It will be shared out within the week and the PowerPoint. And Christina, if there's anything else you want to add to the PowerPoint, please do and let me know. Thank you, everybody, for attending today. And can I have a special round of applause? Clap,
Thank
clap
you,
for
guys.
Christina. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your CT month, the rest of your day and week, but it is CT month and we are middle in the smack dab. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Love on all your CT students. Thank
Definitely.
you, everybody.
Thank you. It's so nice meeting you all.
Thank you for holding on.
Yeah, no problem. I just thought maybe if anyone had any questions, I stick around.
Stop.